Hello everyone, this is Barendipitous and welcome to another Legend Lore chat on the Brawlhalla Lore YouTube channel. Today we are talking about Zariel. I know Ashy Arts in particular would be very happy about this episode, since Ashy seems to really like Zariel for several reasons. In any case, Zariel the Celestial. A seraphim warrior in the host of Palladium is a pure, perfect weapon of holy justice. Zariel will not be tainted by Odin's rabble. Tariel, gatekeeper of Elysium. Mortal or angel, male or female, I am above such primitive distinctions. However, this quiz will tell me what kind of bread I am. Rye, I'm hoping. Zariel hanging out with Ada and learning about the internet. So this is the quote that inspired some my gender is rye bread memes in the Brawlhalla community, which I think is awesome. I love it. Anyway, as the story goes, Zariel is on a mission from God, specifically the god Palladium, the warrior deity of holy justice who abides in blessed Elysium. In Elysium, too, Zariel resided, a saintly soldier in Palladium's perfect celestial army that stands ready to fight the demon hordes that will one day be released from Gehenna. Ages ago, Elysium was visited by the leader of another pantheon, Odin the Allfather. The Viking god was impressed by Palladium's mighty host, and jealous. Returning to Asgard, Odin sent out his Valkyries to raise his own army for the end times. Naturally, Palladium scoffed. No boorish Viking horde could ever match his most excellent and holy host. But recently, Palladium has heard rumors that the Valkyries' intense rivalry to bring back the best warriors has borne fruit, and he's heard whispers that through the chaos and nonsense of the grand tournament of Brawlhalla, Odin's ragtag army of the afterlife has forged itself into a formidable force. Palladium has sent Zariel to investigate. In Brawlhalla, Zariel entered the tournament to take the measure of this motley crew. However, the battles of the grand tournament hold an allure for any warrior, and Zariel's emotionless participation is starting to give way to fun. Now, for connections, again, kind of too recent to be mentioned in other legend lore pages. But yeah, this is a really fun one because it introduces yet another pantheon in the ever-expanding universe, maybe even multiverse of Brawlhalla. So, Zariel is, as aforementioned, the Celestial. So since it is confirmed that, well, I say in the lore wiki that it's confirmed that Zariel is genderless, saying, which I generally use the pronoun they to refer to Zariel. Ashy Arts and others would disagree with me, saying that Zariel is a he, citing some other portions of like Blue Mammoth Games websites that use the he pronoun for Zariel. Now, in this official legend lore page, there is no male or female pronoun for Zariel. And so that's why I've been assuming that... I couldn't find any other like official sources that definitively said that Zariel was male. And if BMG did say Zariel, like say he to refer to Zariel, like they've made mistakes on like Twitter and stuff like that and on streams before. So I'm not quite holding much fruit to that one just yet. So until I am proven otherwise, I will refer to Zariel as they. Because apparently... believing that Zariel as a celestial of Palladium's, as a member of Palladium's celestial host, that they are genderless angels. In any case, but yeah, some sources say that the name Zariel means lion princess, but I found a site that explained why it really can't be the case. Interestingly, Zariel does come up as the name of a powerful fallen angel turned archdevil, particularly in the Dungeons and Dragons game or other settings for the game. The fallen character was probably inspired by Azrael, sometimes called Azrael, who is identified often as the angel of destruction and renewal. And let's see, I think there was another lore nerd that pointed something out to me. Let me see if I can find it really quick here. In the Discord. Oh, yes. It's also possible that Zariel's name comes from Zariel, which is which means Prince of God. The name of an angel, mainly from the Judaic tradition. So Zariel, quite possible. So, but in any case, the fact that Zariel is there's a lot in here that tells me there's a lot in the lore of, the god Palladium, Elysium, Gehenna, celestial, heavenly pure hosts, that kind of thing. That tells me that the basic mythology or religious or historical context behind Zariel's lore and design is mainly from they seem to be inspired by Christian angelology. Yes, it is a thing, angelology and demonology, which originated from classic Roman Catholicism. So like the Roman Catholic tradition. Actually, have any of you heard of let me see. Oh, Dante's Inferno, right? Dante's Inferno, Purgatory, and Paradise. That comes from, from the Roman Catholic traditions of Christianity, basically. There was a time when it was believed that heaven was inhabited by 3 spheres or orders of angels, each divided into 3 categories of beings to form the Angelic Hierarchy. So different versions of this hierarchy exist, of course, with the most famous one being from Dante's The Divine Comedy, specifically the final part of it called Paradiso, or Paradise. So although Judaism and Islam also has angels in their theology, I'm going forward with Christianity as the main influence because the name Palladium specifically has Greek and Roman/Latin roots, and the Roman tradition goes into Roman Catholicism, which is part of Christianity specifically. Of course, we don't know for certain whether Palladium's Elysium was actually organized like in this hierarchy, but it's fun to speculate based on what seemed to inspire Zariel's design and lore. So, with that in mind, with this angelology idea in mind, and a devil right there, funny. So, do we know what kind of angel Zariel would be in such a scenario, in such a hierarchy? Well, if we go with the Christian angelic hierarchy, then Zariel would probably be a dominion, the highest being of the middle of the 3 orders. And funny enough, right now we're going against Cross, who has a devil or a demon. Was it demon or devil? I think they interchanged them in the lore here. The devil's coin in here. Funny. Anyway, so I say Zariel is probably a dominion because dominions are said to be led by a being called Zadkiel. Coincidence? Maybe. I don't see any other significant similarities, though, besides the names. So, why would an angel have a bow and gauntlets for weapons? Well, angels are often shown with bows, shooting arrows of light. There's also the obvious Cupid reference. So you see arrows of light here. In this case, there are firing 3 arrows of light. And also Zariel has his own wings there. Seems almost like technological in the way that the wings appear, right? Or magical? Technological? Who knows? Let's see. Dang it. Come on. There we go. So there are interesting symbols, like these triangular symbols and squares and things like that. Well, triangles and powers of 3, that was very common in depictions of heaven and angels and everything because of the whole, because of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost kind of thing. That's probably why you see triangles a lot. What's up with the gauntlets, though? So surely it would be better to give Zariel like a sword, right? Like swords seem to be more, I don't know, biblical or like. Oh, well, first of all, we already have Koji, a sword bow legend. Second, well, if you're familiar with the Bible, you may or may not recall that there is a story about how the prophet Jacob wrestled with an angel. Apart from that, the only other justification I can think of for gauntlets is the symbolism of Zariel acting on behalf of their god. You know, like being the hand of God or the hand of Palladium, that kind of thing. So... But yeah, seems to rely on those kind of celestial sigils a lot in several of their signatures. But anyway, speaking of Cupid, it wouldn't be here, would it? There's a Valentine skin for Zariel, Secret Admirer Zariel. Ashy Arts' favorite, by the way. I know. But yeah, what else can I say about Zariel? Let me see here. All right. So Gehenna, what on earth is Gehenna? It comes from Greek and Hebrew, meaning Valley of Hinnom. Who or what is Hinnom? It is the name for a valley near Jerusalem. Unclear exactly where Hinnom was, but there is a small valley in the area called in that area which is called Gehenna. It's believed to be the location where some of the kings of Judah sacrificed their children as fire offerings to a pagan god. So it doesn't have the greatest reputation. And so it was believed to be cursed. So you can see how the name Gehenna, or Valley of Hinnom, is given poor light, right? So as with many things regarding religion, mythology, or even general legend, Gehenna as a home of devils or demons became part of fantasy fiction as well. Dungeons and Dragons, again, has a place called Gehenna for demons. And a different interpretation of Gehenna is seen in the anime Blue Exorcist as well. So there is that. We see a reference to Odin, the Allfather, of course. And yeah, that's about it. Do I not have... Oh yeah, Elysium. There we go. So Elysium originates in Greek mythology as a paradise with the appearance of beautiful, lush plains reserved for the souls of the righteous or the heroic or just the people chosen by the gods. Kind of basically the Greek version of Valhalla, right? In a way. So after the time of the Greeks, hit my hand on the table. So it was after the time of the Greeks when the term Elysium really took off in Western cultures. So again, in Dante's Divine Comedy, we hear about Elysium as a paradise sort of place. Have you heard of the Champs-Élysées, a famous large street leading to the Arc de Triomphe in Paris? Well, Champs-Élysées, Élysée referring to Elysium. Shakespeare, Cervantes, and others refer to Elysium. And many pop culture references to Elysium, they use it as a fancy name for heaven, or at least a field of paradise and peace. So Dungeons and Dragons, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, many, many more talk about Elysium. What about Palladium? Well, there are a lot of references to this name that I originally thought would be the case for Brawlhalla. So the Brawlhalla deity's name is spelled a little differently from its namesake, the chemical element palladium. If you've heard of Iron Man, like, the films, possibly more likely, or the comics, palladium is a silvery white metal that looks like platinum. The name for the mineral comes from the Latin pallas, which is a name given to an asteroid that was found just before the metal was discovered. Also, Iron Man used to use palladium in his Iron Man suit. The word has Greek roots from Palladian, which is a reference to Athena, sometimes called Pallas Athena, due to her role as a protector, like a shield or a protector of some sort. By the 17th century, the word palladium came to be used to mean anything that provides protection or safety. There are a couple of pages I found that talk about palladium in this sense, but the summary of it seems to be that the word went from Athena and then to the Greeks to the Romans, and then to Christianity, becoming generalized into the basic protection definition. Platinum, protection, palladium, elysium, celestial, holy. It all works quite well to give you a sense of where Zariel comes from, basically. I could not find any god or deity with the name Palladium, but at least anywhere that I found. But yeah, that's what I have for Zariel. Lots of cool stuff there. So thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, GG, fellow lore nerds.